Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Talk podcast. I'm gonna preface that a few things, actually. I guess now another thing. I'm sorry if you can hear the road behind me. It is a nice day, so everyone's out on their motorcycles. And the cars, for some reason, just seem to be extremely loud today. I don't know if that's to get in the way of my podcast, or I don't know, everyone's just out and about today. Another thing, if I sound congested, it's because I am. I don't know if it's a cold, because I tend to get colds when the weather and seasons change like drastically, and we're supposed to be in spring. I don't think the weather knows what it wants to do, because it'll be like, today's like 60, but like the middle of this week is supposed to be like back in the low 40s and then jump back up to the 60s. And then like 3 days in a row, it's supposed to rain. I don't freaking know. It's been all over the place, and it seems to be messing with my sinuses a lot. So I didn't think I sounded completely awful. If I do sound horrible for as long as this podcast is going to last and you have to listen to me, I want to sincerely apologize. But I wasn't like sick or down enough to not want to record a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't like, oh, I have to take a week off because I don't feel good. I don't know what I have, to be honest. I don't know if it's a cold or if I have somehow in the past however many years. Don't they say like your things change like every 7 years or something like that, and you can actually develop allergies? I've never dealt with allergies before. Maybe it's been a whole 7-year quota thing, and all of a sudden my body's like, watch this. Because I took Dayquil. I don't know if I was supposed to double up on this medicine. I have no idea. I took Dayquil this morning because like I've been feeling awful, and it's just because I'm so congested that like my face hurts, and like I've been getting like on and off headaches type of situation. So I thought it was just like a cold, but I took Dayquil and it's done nothing for me. And what did I take? I took Allegra, maybe? Allegra D. The allergy medicine. And it's actually cleared me up better than the Dayquil. So then I'm like, wow, like allergy medicine is helping me more than like a sinus cold and sinus type medicine. So I'm like, is that telling me something? Or is it just I doubled up on the I have no idea, to be honest. I don't think it probably should be medicine you should be taking together, but I've been impatient and I just want to breathe. And it's cleared me up better than the Dayquil did. So for now I'm taking it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I have. Today's Sunday, by the way. Happy Easter. We'll get into that really quick since I mentioned it was Sunday. Today's Easter Sunday. So happy Easter if you celebrate. So I'm home alone at the moment. JJ is with Julian at Julian's side of the family doing their Easter festivities they got going on today. So he went out with him, and I was gonna go to my parents because they were having like a late lunch, early dinner type situation. I feel like with holidays, that's just the thing. Like, you don't like have lunch at lunchtime. You have it like that awkward in between where it's like later you'll still be hungry for dinner and then you just eat the leftovers. Is that just my family? Is that a thing? I feel like that's just like a holiday thing that goes around. But I was going to go there because they were having that. They were having probably like a ham, whatever, late lunch, early dinner type of situation. And I was going to go there so I wasn't home alone. But then part of me was like, oh, I could just have a nice Sunday to myself, a few hours. It'll be kind of relaxing. I'll be hanging out. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll just go up there, have some food, hang out, blah, 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 come home. But then I ended up getting whatever I have. And since I don't know what I have, I don't want to go and get anyone sick. I mean, if it's allergies, at that point, like, there's nothing I can really do. Allergies aren't per se like contagious, but if I am sick and it ends up like I do have a cold, I don't want to go and get everyone sick. You know what I'm saying? So I did stay home. I actually just took a drive to go get coffee. Not that people probably want to be working today, but I was the jerk that visited them because they're open and I needed a coffee. I sincerely apologize, but I am very thankful that you're open. So thank you, Dunkin', for providing me with my coffee this morning or this afternoon. It is literally 4 p.m. on a Sunday. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I definitely just sniffed like into the mic. Another thing with that though is it's Sunday. I'm recording on a Sunday. I was not as prepared as last week when I had this like that last week's episode done on like a Tuesday. Let me tell you, it was the greatest but weirdest thing ever, cuz like by Saturday I was like, oh my, like part of me thought I like forgot to record an episode, and then I was like, no, like it's already been done. Like it's already been done and edited. Literally just needs to be scheduled. And then I had to set a reminder for myself on Sunday to upload it because I feel like I would have forgot. Like I wasn't going to record. So normally I would like record, edit, schedule type of situation, but because I wasn't recording, I feel like I would just forget the schedule like part of that process. So I set a reminder for myself to upload or to schedule, and I don't know, like it was so nice to be prepared, but at the same time I was so prepared that it like threw me off. That sounds weird coming out of my mouth, as weird as it sounds in my head. I don't know, it was nice, but like I would need to get used to it. Typically in this sort of situation where I'm recording on the day that it gets scheduled. But anyways, another thing I'm going to bring up is I haven't decided if I'd rather record at night or during the day. It is freaking beautiful out today. It is like 60 degrees. I'm going to see what it actually says. But it's super nice. So I'm recording now while everyone's out. I thought about like either doing it now or like later tonight when I would normally do it, but I was like, I'm just gonna set everything up. I'm not gonna lie, like part of me was like, oh, I'll just rest now and then record later, mostly because I just really didn't want to set everything up right now. But then I went for a drive to get Dunkin', and I realized how nice it was, and it kind of put me in such a good mood that, like, I don't know, now I'm just feeling like talking, and when I get like that, I feel like it's the perfect podcast time, because in the podcast, I just sit and talk. So if I want to talk, I might as well set up the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of goes hand in hand in my head. So I was like, it is so freaking beautiful out. It says it's 59 degrees and feels like 57. So like it's beautiful. The sun is out. Everyone's out and about. I don't know if it's for the holiday or just because it's so freaking nice out. We have the heat off in the apartment, which to me is like, I love the time of year where like you could just turn the heat off. It's still been pretty warm in the apartment, which I don't like because, like, then I just feel like I'm sweating and it's gross and whatever. But it's not, like, it's not seasonal enough to, like, put the air on. You know what I'm saying? So I opened the windows. We have fresh air coming through. I only have it open in the living room right now so that, like, you wouldn't hear the background noise from where I'm recording, because I could have just opened, like, this window behind me if you're watching. This window behind me, but you definitely would have heard the road, and with the windows closed, I feel like it's already pretty loud, so I definitely did not want it open, but it put me in such a good mood, so I decided to set up the podcast now. So we love that. I need to get used to these motorcycles being out again, because it has not been the weather for motorcycles lately, but today, like I said, it's freaking amazing. So everyone's out and enjoying, and I'm so happy for them that they get to finally bring out their bikes, because they've probably been waiting for that. Another thing I wanted to bring up, something crazy, is I feel like I don't think it was last week's episode. I talked about luck. Was that last week's episode? I don't think so, but let's double check. No. So not last week's, but the week before, I had the episode about luck and mentioned that, like, in some way, shape, or form, that, like, luck needed to somehow manifest or, like, gravitate its way to me. And something kind of crazy, in my opinion, happened. So I typically, if you want to know my day-to-day life, would pay daycare. We pay daycare weekly, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. But anyways, we pay daycare weekly. So I went on a Monday, which is when I normally go to pay it, to pay daycare, and paid it per usual, whatever. It went through. It was fine. I got the email, like, confirmation, like, all that fun stuff. So I don't remember if it was the same day or a few days later. I went to go into my bank account just to look at how much I spent somewhere. I forget what exactly I was looking up, but it had two different like payments coming out for daycare when I only paid it once. And I was like, hold on, what the heck? So it was basically double charging me for daycare for the week. And I was like, what is going on? And it was so weird because, like, one payment came out and one was still, like, processing. And so it was really weird. I was waiting for it to do something so that way, like, if it came out again, I could be like, hey, it double charged me this week, like, at the daycare. If they had to tell me to go through my bank, I don't know what would have happened. But basically, one was pending and one had come out. And I was like, no. Like, I don't want to double pay. Either that or if it doubles, like, double took out this week, like, maybe next week they won't charge me or they'll just put it towards the following week. I don't know. But basically, I had checked my bank account a few days later and it, like, refunded me. Like, the pending one never actually came out. It went, like, back into my account, if that makes sense. So I was like, okay, at least it wasn't double charging me. I hate that I feel like I need to, like, blow my nose every 2 seconds. So this might be a very crazy edited podcast. But anyways, I was like, thank God it wasn't double charging me, whatever. I went on the daycare website that we have to go to pay the following week, and there was a credit on my account, which means I didn't have to pay. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was because of how it refunded my bank when it, like, they realized they double charged. I don't know what happened. I'm not really asking any questions. I just know that I didn't have to pay this past week. And honestly, with the amount of the credit that I had on my account, if they still take from that credit, which they should, like, that's how it should work in my head, I won't have to pay tomorrow. Like, today's Sunday when I'm recording, so tomorrow when I would typically go to pay daycare, I don't think I'll have to pay again. And I am so freaking happy. I don't know what happened or, like, what it's from, what it's doing, but basically I don't think I'll have to pay. And luck was on my side on that one because it was, like, one of those situations where it's like, I have the money for daycare, but, like, can I use it towards, like, another bill or something else I have going on right now? Yes. And luckily that's what happened. I didn't have to, like, pay daycare and, like, use more money towards a bill. I just put it towards another bill. And it was amazing. Honestly, freaking amazing. I don't know. I just felt the need to share that. I thought that after I recorded that episode and that happening, it was, like, kind of a weird coincidence. It might just be totally stupid and you're like, that has nothing to do with anything, but I loved it. But yeah. Random just happened to pop in my head. I don't think I finished my thought of what I was just talking about with recording between day and night. I love recording during the day because I have more natural light. I do still have some lights on me. I have, like, a recording light we used to use and another, like, light on a tripod that's kind of right in front of me. But I feel like because I have windows open and, like, if it's cloudy, which it's kind of cloudy, it's mostly sunny, but I feel like between when I move and get in front of this window that has a lot of light, the light for this episode like shifts and I don't know, changes a bit. So I don't know if I like recording during the day and having like natural light, but it kind of looking weird in the camera, or if I'd rather just record at night. That way I know the light that's on me is like consistent. I don't know. I was going to say that before and I don't know what sidetracked me, but I don't think I finished my thought. So I just had to get that out. My episodes have been going to like starting with just me rambling about anything that I want to ramble about in the moment, and then I actually get into the episodes. I don't know if this is good or bad. Let me know if you like it or if I should just shut up and get right into the episode. But I like kind of feeling like I'm having a conversation with you guys. Like I like the feeling of we're just sitting having a cup of coffee and like having a little chat. We're catching up on life, what happened during the week. You know, some weeks are crazy and a lot has been happening, or a lot could be happening, that we just need to talk and catch up. And yeah, like, I don't know, we're friends, right? So we're just going to have a little chat about life. And then now I'll get into, I guess, a little more like serious stuff. Before we do that, I do need a sip of coffee first. I ended up going with a large today, which I think was a power move because they made it really, 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 really good today. So this week's episode was brought to me by Instagram, actually, because I was going through Instagram one day and I saw the person's Instagram is Julia's Spiritual Coaching. I don't know, but they have she has her Instagram bio says self-love and mental health. I don't know. Oh, she's an educator coach. I don't know what she does, to be honest, but I found something that came up on my like Instagram as I was scrolling through, and the main thing was reminders for hard days. And that kind of struck me because I was like, wow, like that's a good thing to talk about, is like when you're going through a hard day to remember that it's just that, like it's just a hard day, like it's just a bad day. It will pass. You will get through. It will go by, that type of situation. And I was like, wow, that's going to be a podcast episode. So basically I'm just going to read you the post that I found and like the reminders I had on this. And then I'm going to kind of go through reminders I kind of thought of, or what puts me through like realizing it's just a bad day, hard day, however you want to look at it. So this post had said, so the caption, first of all, was, "Today I'm sharing simple reminders for hard days. If you're having a tough day, please be extra gentle and compassionate toward yourself." Which I loved because that's like a thing where it's like, be gentle, like don't be too hard on yourself. You will get through it. The day will go by. Tomorrow could be better. Probably will be better. Like today is just a bad day. Like they come, they go. It's just kind of what happens through life. So it has 6 little like colorful bubbles, and in each one, so one says, "Being yourself is more than enough." The next one says, "Don't believe everything you think," which I actually loved that. I never really thought of that as like everything you think is not true, because if you're having a bad day, you're probably kind of self-doubting yourself or putting bad thoughts in your head that aren't really true, which is kind of like a in the moment situation because of the fact that like today's been kind of bad for you. The next one says, "Taking care of yourself is essential." The next one says, "Stop and take a few deep breaths." The next one says, "You've got what it takes," which is another, I love that one. That sounds so encouraging and definitely one like you should just keep in your mind at all times. And then the last one says, "Better days are coming," which like I just probably said 3 times. Tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow will be better. Today is just a bad day. You will get through it. So I loved that so much. But as I was sitting there and reading it and like kind of planning out to make this a podcast episode, I kind of thought of other like sayings or things that, oh my God, my eye just started itching so bad. This is why I also think it's like allergies, because like every time I read a little like box or bottle that allergy medicine comes in, it's like, oh, for scratchy eyes, runny nose, like burning throat or something like that. And I'm like, oh, that's everything I have. Because like besides, if I wasn't congested, I'd be perfectly fine right now. Like it's literally just the fact that I'm congested. So I don't know. Anyways, I don't even know what I was saying. I think I was saying something along the lines of, I thought of different sayings or something that gets me through, like when I feel like I'm having a bad day. Because like obviously when you're in the moment and everything is to you going like quote unquote wrong, you just think that like this is how it's gonna go, this is how it always goes, blah blah blah. But you need something to kind of like pep yourself, like pep talk yourself and try to get you through. The first thing I have was, when one door closes, another door opens. I love that because I personally have gone through experiences where it's like quote unquote one door closes, like something either ends or is going wrong or something, and then you have that moment where it's the quote unquote another door opens, meaning that something good is either coming or has happened. Like you thought that like the one thing either ending badly was going to be the end, and you don't know what else is going to be happening. You think it's just the end, like something, you did something wrong or whatever, but another door opens, another opportunity comes, another bad day left, good day is coming type of situation. The next thing I have is not everyone is going to like you. That's just life. That's kind of what I was thinking of along those lines, where like not everyone is gonna like you or like your personality or like what you do, what you're going through type of thing. And I feel like you shouldn't let that affect you. I have read this thing where it's like, oh, some people's opinions or thoughts should have nothing to do with you. I forget what I read. It was something along those lines, and it was saying like someone's bad day shouldn't have anything to do with you. Like their bad day has nothing to do with you. Like you might think that like they're being mean to you or rude to you or taking it out on you because you did something wrong or something. Like not everything someone is doing has any reflection on you type of situation. I don't know. That just might be me and my overthinking, but I feel like I always feel like if someone's telling me about a bad day or a bad time, like I feel the need to make it better, if that makes sense, when really like you might be there to like pep talk and like try to cheer them up, but their bad day might not have anything to do with you, and you can't have it reflect on how, I don't know how to explain this, like how you're going on with your day. Like you don't need to stop what you're doing and make sure their day is better. That sounds so wrong. That sounds like such a jerk thing to say. But I don't know, like it's not like, not everything that you're told is something you can fix. You can always try and definitely try your best, but when things don't go how they're supposed to be going, like there's not always something you can do about it or like be able to fix it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but part of it made sense in my head. It just didn't make sense when I said it out loud. The next thing I have are baby steps are still steps in the right direction. You definitely have to remember that on a hard day, is that you might not think you're where you're either supposed to be or quote unquote have to be in the moment. But if you're still making steps, like you're still making progress, and like a progress is like you're progressing in the right direction. You're still gonna get to where you want to be at the end. You're still gonna achieve all the goals you're trying to do. It might just take longer than you anticipated, which is always okay. But it doesn't mean that it's never going to work out. Like you're never going to get to where you want to be. you're getting there. You're definitely getting there. It's just, it might take longer than you thought. And like I said, that's definitely not something bad. I feel like if you're still making the baby steps and doing little bits at a time, like you're still working towards your goal and what you want to be doing, that you just have to kind of do it, I guess, in the pace that your mind or your body's taking you. The next thing I have is take breaks. I know if you're having a rough day, a hard day, a bad day, you just kind of think that everything you're doing is a fail. Just take a step back, take a deep breath, take a break for a second, have something to eat, have a cup of coffee, watch a YouTube video, like catch up on TV shows, and then get back to what you're doing. Just because you're taking a break doesn't mean you're done with what you were doing, what you were working on, what you should be doing. You might just need to step away for a moment and kind of recoup yourself to get a better headspace. And just, if you get a better headspace, it's one of those things where you might look at whatever you're doing differently and either see A, what you were doing wrong, or B, what you could be doing instead that could be helping you and moving you along to get to what you're trying to do, to get where you're trying to reach. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like breaks and things are kind of overlooked. And I feel like a lot of people are just against taking breaks or stopping what they're doing because they just want to get it done. But at the same time, like, you want to get it done effectively and efficiently. And sometimes taking a break on that is what you need to do to get in that space or in that motion, I guess. The next thing I had was you're doing the best you can. That is definitely something you need to tell yourself when you're having a hard day, a rough day, bad day type of thing. You're doing the best you can. You're doing everything you could be doing in that moment. And really that's all that matters, because if you're not giving 100% in that moment, like, you might be kind of self-doubting yourself and getting a little hard on yourself. But if you're doing everything you can, you're giving your 100%, 110%, and it's still not going the way you want to, that's another thing where it's like, take a step back, take a break, look at it again in 5 minutes, look at it again in an hour. In that moment, I feel like if you're doing the very best that you can, I don't know, like, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing what you can. It might be your time to just lay off it for the rest of the day, get back at it tomorrow after a good night's sleep, a good rest, another new pair of eyes, like I said, a good mind or headspace. When you're working on certain things, sometimes you just really need to clear your mind. But if you're doing the best you can on a hard, bad day, you really can't get too, like, you shouldn't be able to get too hard on yourself, because, like, what are you getting too hard on yourself on? It's not like you're giving up on yourself. It's you're trying to help your state of mind, your peace, what you're working on. Like I said, you need to be doing it effectively and efficiently. So if one is happening without the other, I feel like it's not really doing well. So that's where your take a break needs to come in. But you still need to remind yourself that you're giving it your full effort, which is really all that matters in that moment. The next thing I have, which kind of goes along with take breaks, is take time for yourself. Like I said, if you need to take a lunch break, take a coffee break, go for a walk, rest and catch up on YouTube videos, catch up on your TV show that you're watching. It's okay. It's okay to do so, even if it's in the middle of the day. If you need it, you need it. Like, if your body's telling you you need it, listen. If your mind's telling you you need it, listen. If someone else honestly could be telling you that you need it, listen, because they're probably seeing that you're stressing yourself out and that you just need a little break. And again, it's not giving up on anything. It's giving yourself a new perspective, which might just be what you need to get through the rest of what you're doing and the rest of the day, honestly. The next thing I have is enjoy the ride. I heard that on an Instagram account somewhere, that someone had just said like their favorite saying or quote, or someone they knew said it a lot or something. I forget how it went, but once I heard it and like heard the meaning of why they loved it so much, I was like, wow, like enjoy the ride. Like it's just one of those things where it's like nothing should be stressing you out too much. Nothing should be like taking over you too much, whether it be work or really anything, which I should probably start telling myself that more, but it's just one of those things where it's like enjoy life, like enjoy what's going on in your life, enjoy what's going on around you, kind of like a be more present in the present type of situation. Make sure to be there for family, whether it's your kids growing up or like just family events or I don't know, anything. Just kind of enjoy the ride, enjoy how life is going for you, like what life is giving you, everything that you should be thankful for having, thankful for being around. Just, I don't know, it's kind of reminding me of like a be more present type of situation, which, I don't know, hard days are going to get to you and you're just going to be either isolating yourself or putting yourself in like a little corner, or you'll be around but you're not really fully present because you're still thinking about everything that's going on in your head of either what you should be doing or everything that's quote unquote going wrong. Just kind of enjoy the ride. The next thing I have is let it go, which kind of sounds really harsh if someone said that to you as a reminder for a hard day, but part of it is kind of accurate because some of the things that either is giving you a hard time or making you feel like you're having a bad day or is, I don't know, you might just have to let it go because it might be one of those things where it's giving you a hard time because you want to fix the situation, or I don't know, but it might not be something you can necessarily fix or hold on to or like keep thinking about, because it's just one of those things where it's going to keep tearing you down when it's really not something you should be thinking about, or it's out of your control, which is honestly probably one of the worst feelings, is having something that's out of your control be like nonstop going through your mind, because again, it's one of those things where it's either out of your control and there's nothing you could do about it, or it's out of your control and kind of not your place to intervene or fix or something. So it really is one of those things you just have to kind of let it go and start thinking of something else, start thinking of better things, something that's gonna affect you on a more positive mindset type of situation. I don't know. The last thing I have is the only way out is through. I love that saying personally, because even though you're having a rough day, bad day, hard day, the only way out of that situation is through. Because once you get through the day, once you get through the moment, once you get through whatever you're doing that could be causing your bad day, hard day type of situation, is going through the day, is going through whatever it is. Because like I've said probably plenty of times during this episode, the next day will be better. The next day is not going to be the same. The next day is, I don't know, like you went through the day that you thought was the worst day of your life or the hardest day of your life, or you went through a situation or a circumstance that you thought was the hardest thing you probably ever go through. It's never going to end. The next day, you're out of it because you went through it. Now you're either seeing things differently, or you're focusing on much better things, or like I said, for some of the other things I had, you're seeing some things in a new perspective that you're like, oh, I could just do this, and it makes it 10 times better. You're through the situation, you're over it, you're on to the next step of everything. I don't know, there's something about that saying that I'm just like, yes, like you will get through it, and the next day it's going to be so much better. The next situation is going to be so much better. It might be one of those things where it's like, you got through this, you're never going to go through it again, or it's going to come at you again and you're going to know how to deal with it or put yourself through it because you've already been through it the first time, and you know what to do to either not think about it as much, not make it a bad or hard time for you. I don't know. There's just so many circumstances with that one saying. I don't know. I just personally love it so much. That definitely should be something that gets me through a hard day. I have to probably should keep thinking of these things. I kind of want to take these things or quotes from online or Pinterest or something and print them out and tape them somewhere, or have something where I go through if I'm having a rough time and be like, all right, just think of this and I'll change my mindset and I'll go through the day in a much better mood and better peace for myself. I don't know. But with that being said, that is all I have for this episode. Basically, my moral of this was to just deep breaths, take yourself away from situation you're in, step back, come back to it when you're ready. You will get through every hard day. You will get through every bad day. Bad days come and go. They're not all, every day is not bad. There are definitely good sides to every day. There are good people that'll get you through hard days and bad situations you're going through. But yeah, with that being said, that's all I have for this episode. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening or watching if you are watching. Oh my God, I never went through my normal things at the beginning of this video. Streaming platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, anywhere you stream your podcast. We are also here on YouTube. Girls Gotta Talk podcast. That is so weird because now I feel like I'm starting this episode. Okay, well, now that I started my episode, I am now ending this episode. I'll see you guys next week back with a brand new episode. I love you. Bye.